Hi, I'm back. So, I am going to assume that you did your homework and that you played with the cards and that you made all kinds of combos and that you're starting to dig it and you understand like how they go together. So, we're going to figure out why it's so exciting now. Today I'm going to use my silhouette stack. I love the silhouette stack because the images are just so basic, and a lot of Lenormand readers, including myself, like really straightforward images on the decks. Now, not always do I want that, but most of the time, and most people are going to really want that. And as you can see, these are just like no frills, no extras. It is really clear, okay? I love this card. Anyway, so here we are. I've got my silhouette stack. It also has alternate gentleman and lady cards in it. So you'll want to take out, and I think, yeah, we have an extra child card in this one too. So you'll want to take out the cards that you're not using, okay? And make sure that your card deck makes up 36 cards. So last time, again, you practiced making your combos. Now we're going to use that 2-card combo to like expand your understanding, okay? So we're going to do 5-card line. So the first 2 cards are considered the past, the middle card's kind of the present, and the second 2 cards are the future. So I'm going to take a picture of the cards I'm about to lay out, and then we're going to talk about them. So let me get shuffling. You can be shuffling too if you want. Right now, get yourself a 5-card line out, okay? So there we go. Got my deck, and it's ready to go. So I've got, in position 1, I've got the ship. Position 2, I have the moon. Position 3, I have the whip. Position 4, I have the stork. Position 5, I have the rider. We're going to start with the ship. And so the ship is in the past, and it's either, for me, it's a vehicle, it's a move, it's an adventure. Typically, sometimes it's travel. And with the moon there, that's to me a journey at night. So that's looking pretty good, okay? I like that idea a lot. This is like weekend getaway, emotional romance. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's really unsure because the moon is also cyclic and shadowy. So then we have the whip, which is like right now. So the whip to me is repetitive motion. It's a repetitive action. And so for me, the whip is about sex, it's about arguments, it's about sweeping your floor, it's about doing the dishes, it's anything you do over and over and over again. Well, what could that mean after I just said that we're going on a trip? Well, we went on a trip because that's in the past. But anyways, we're going to figure it out. Then, in the future, we've got the stork, which to me is new beginnings or momentous occasion. And then we have the rider. So to me, the rider is usually news, messages, or someone new in your life, okay? So let's start with the ship. And you'll see like really analytically, and then you'll see intuitively, okay? So the ship, I'm gonna call this a trip. I'm just gonna use one of my keywords and say it's a trip. And you can tell usually by the cards around it which one of the keywords it is. So it's not usually difficult to figure out, okay? The moon, to me, is things unseen. It's evening time. So I don't really, obviously I saw it because it was in my past. So to me, this is probably a night trip somewhere. Maybe you went on a really great date, or you took a weekend vacation, or something like that. And then we have the whip. Well, I doubt that you do that over and over again. Now, I'm going to be really bold here. For some people, the whip is not about sex. To me, the whip is definitely about sex. Okay? So, because it's a repetitive action. Anything that's a repetitive action, and I know most of us want sex to be repetitive, is gonna qualify for the whip. And then the stork is next. So what do you think happened as a result of the whip? Okay, stork's pretty self-explanatory. And then the rider as a message. So yeah, your little trip, little honeymoon, vacation, all the sex you've been having leads to babies. So be careful, okay? So that's like the really direct line. Okay, now intuitively, now this is where I disagree with some readers. I do read these intuitively. I think because of the way the moon is facing the ship, definitely there is emotional involvement here, and this is a cycle that has some kind of repetition, and especially amplified by that whip. Okay, that whip is there's something not right there too. I think there's a dual meaning taking place. Not only is there a sexual repetitiveness, but there's something that you probably need to correct that you keep letting repeat. Okay. And then it moves into the stork. The stork is new beginnings and momentous occasions, and sometimes pregnancy. And because we're talking about trips and sex, this is where I conclude. Now, this is my conclusion, and it's not your conclusion. And how are you going to conclude this? Okay? You might say, the stork is never that to me. There's no way this person's having a baby. Well, obviously you're not. Like, how many bazillion people are going to see this video? You all can't be pregnant, right? But it is definitely a new beginning of some sort, and you find out in a surprise newscast, okay? Like, be careful not to be on television. No, the writer's not like that. But it is like, ta-da! And you're like, oh crap. Okay, so the really neat things about this 5-card line, and that some things I do a little different than others, is that not only is, like, you know, we were talking about the 1-2 combo. Well, the ship is amplified by the moon, but nobody usually thinks to amplify the moon by the whip, right? So the moon is enhanced by the whip, okay? And they both have a cycle or a repeat action. I mean, there's something there that's really going on over and over. And it might have its ups and its lows, but it's happening, right? So this is how you continue to read down the 5-card line, is that you continue to make card 2, you know, enhanced by card 3. Then you take card 3 and you enhance it by card 4. So the stork then is amplifying the whip, okay? So it's saying, it's describing the whip. And the stork is describing the whip. A new beginning. This might be somebody that you keep breaking up with and going back. I don't know. But see, that's my intuition kicking in, okay? So, anyways. And then the rider, okay? This could be a new person that you elect. It could be news about the adventure you just had. Alright? I'm not going to give you all the details. You're going to have to figure out some. Anyway, so the ship is on one end and the rider's on the other, and this is something that I like to do. Not everybody does this. In fact, I think most people don't. But anyway, the ship is, to me, that's the mirror image, and that I usually only use the correct way. I'll show you that in the grand tableau. But in this reading, I love to look at the two ends. It's like the bookends. So when I look at the ship and the rider together, gosh, this is a journey. And to me, like, what do the journey and then the rider have to do with each other? What do they have to do with each other? You tell me. Okay, so there's your 5-card line. And it can provide a lot of information, shockingly enough. And there's a lot of ways to tweak with it to make it bigger. So you can start exploring those things after you really get down how to work it. So Now that we've done that, I want you to practice 5-card line at least 5 times before you move on to the next lesson.